I
This
have created
conference
some.
will now be recorded.
Uh,
Sorry?
have I have created something, but I don't know if it's right or wrong.
Yeah, that's okay. But I just want to see where you guys could,
Yeah.
do it by yourself. Yeah, that's okay. What about others? What about Preet and Vishal?
Right. So for myself, I've 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 tried. I mean, I've only got so far, you see, because my timings are slightly different than yours. So I didn't get the assignment till this morning, and I was working this morning, unfortunately. So I've only had maybe an hour to work on it. I'm not even sure if I'm on the right track, but I'm doing something. So you'll probably have to have a look, I guess.
Yeah. Sure. I'll take a look. But then, yeah, I only want to make sure that you guys did an attempt to start off with it, and at least you guys might have clicked somewhere, and you tried something to get that requirement done. So I'm just trying to understand your approach of taking on a requirement.
Sure. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I've done
What about
something. Then
Vishal?
we'll give you an idea, I guess. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I think we can go one by one. Maybe, each one can share and show what exactly has been created. And what about Vishal?
Started yet. I haven't started yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do it today. There was like something happened
Okay.
yesterday. It was very hectic and busy day yesterday, so couldn't do it.
Okay. Fine. So Durvesh, if you want to just quickly show us what you've done.
Okay, 1 minute. I will log in through my PC.
Yeah. Sure.
Just wait.
Okay. I think till Durvesh comes up, maybe Preet, we can start. We can start with you first if you're ready.
Sure, I'm ready. So what do I need to do? Just share my screen, I guess, or
Yeah. Just share your screen and just walk me through like what was your approach and how what all is built till now.
sure. Right, I'm just trying to figure out how to do this. Give me 1 second. Ah, Right, can you see my screen?
Yes, I do see. Yeah. Go ahead. Yes.
Right, so to begin with, I I created some products, and like I said, I've only gotten so far, so you'll have to maybe even see if I'm on the right path here. But first and foremost, what I did was these are some of the features. So the car was the Mercedes AMG line, GLC 220D. These are all the different features, if you like. But hang on 1 second. Let me just go into this, which will give you a better idea, I guess. Right. So this is where I started, and then I've got the features there. service, sound system, miscellaneous.
Yeah, cool. That looks correct.
And then the options I've got here, which hopefully will come up. So these are all the different options, wireless charging, and let me just blow it
Okay.
up.
So please let's take it this way.
Sure.
Uh, what you do is just show me the code, like present it to me as a sales rep on what
Well, I
you're
haven't I
creating.
haven't got that far, unfortunately. So all I've done is I've managed to create a price book for all of these,
Uh-huh.
and I've added these products into a price book.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, that was going to be my next step, create a quote and then add all of these products from the price book, if you like.
Right, right.
So
So
from
when you created the feature, what was the next step after that? Do you have a product rule in the system?
so the first thing I did was create the product,
Uh-huh.
then created the features, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
and then options, and then I couldn't figure it out because I was trying to prepare a quote, but I wasn't able to see the products in the price book. But then I realized I had to add all of these products into a new price book or add it to the standard price book.
Okay, right, right.
And
So
that's
you
only
can
as
add
far
it
as
to
I've got.
the right. So you can actually have it into a standard price book.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So I thought maybe it'll probably be slightly better if I was to create a Mercedes price book itself.
Okay.
So I realized I could have added that into the price book, the standard one,
Mm-hmm.
but I just want to create something which was easier for me to, find the products from. So I started a new price book.
Okay, okay.
But that's all I've done so far. So, that's the next step would have been to create an opportunity and then a quote. And then from there, obviously, have the bundles, if you like, and then the dynamic bundling, uh, which I would have, probably gone back to the video that, from the session that we had that I could not attend. And then, again, uh, just to refresh everything, my memory and stuff, re-jog my memory. And then, just it's probably not going to be within the next 2 hours. If I'll be honest with you, it would probably take me slightly longer.
Okay, yeah, but then whatever you have done so far, I think it's pretty impressive of whatever is complete. So what are the next steps that is left for you now?
For me, the next step would have been, I think either this is something that I'll have to, maybe go back and refer to the session again, but probably create an opportunity uh, from the Mercedes account, I guess, and then, from there a quote. Uh, but then after that, like obviously work out how to create bundles and dynamic bundling, but I'll have to go refer back to the session again to see what the steps were. So I was just taking baby steps, if you like, for now.
Okay, but then so I can see you have your features, which is perfectly fine. I can see you have created the placebook entries, and the options. So all of this looks really correct. But then when we were discussing the dynamic bundle of it, so do you still have a dynamic bundle in the system?
No, not yet. I've
So
not
you would,
created anything yet.
okay, so a dynamic bundle is pending and code process is pending.
Correct.
Sajid, I do not have a Go meeting in my laptop, so I think you have to go to my Trailhead.
No, I mean, without the app, you can directly, from the link it allows you.
Okay, I have to just paste the link. Okay.
Correct, correct. So you just open that link from your laptop and,
Yeah. Just
sorry, Preetya, go ahead, yeah.
So I think so far, this is what I've done, and then, like you said, the next step would have been to maybe I would have to refer back. I haven't got a clear plan, if you like. I would have to refer back to the video and then see what the next step is, and then come back and then practice a little bit for it to become, a bit more natural, I guess.
Okay, yeah, because see, when I give these exercises, right? What I my aim, basically my aim is to make sure that in future, when you are in a real project and when you get these requirements, it should directly, it should directly click you like, okay, what is the thing that should come first? What are the things I should build? And then all the paths, right? Like for example, okay, if I have to create a feature, where do I go? Where do I get the option to create a feature? Where do I
Correct.
get
Yeah.
the option to create the option? So all these things gradually, not just in the first couple of lectures, but then gradually you have to put that habit of trying to have all these things in back of your mind.
Yeah, you
So
see, I've
always
been a
focus on
sales
that.
rep, so I understand the concept behind all of this. So it's probably, I found it easier to understand, the whole concept why CPQ and what bundles mean, what the different packages mean, and but it's just like getting, uh, maybe a bit more familiar with the technical side of it. What the next step would be to create this, package or the quote system or whatever you want to call it. But I understand the concept. Why would a business need it? Uh, that's what I'm getting at, basically. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that would definitely be helpful. So if you have a background of sales, then yeah. Okay. And one another thing is, so whenever one of the things that you identified correctly is the whole time I did not mention anything about the price book or the price book entries. So I'm glad that you figured that out, because what happens is until you don't have a price book entry associated to that program or the product, it won't be available on the code.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It took me a while to figure that out, actually, but
right,
yeah, I'm
right. So
glad I
that
got,
was
got that.
a test that I've left hidden for you guys to figure out. I was expecting you guys to get stuck over there, but then I'm glad that you guys figured a way out.
So
That's a good, yeah, that's a good thing. So basically, what these price books do is for every code, uh, there is a price book associated which decides the price of a product. Okay.
correct.
So in
Yeah.
a real world scenario, so I want you guys to understand this concept. Okay. So this is a very important CPU concept of prices, the price book and the prices in Salesforce CPQ. So basically, we usually have a product into the system, and the prices for these products are differentiated by price books. So I can give you a real world example wherein if you have a project, if you have a project in the North of America, so for each and every state, they have a different state. So they have a different price. Sorry. So basically, what happens is if I have a particular product, for example, let's take an example of Mercedes AMG. If I have to sell this product in Florida, then I would sell it for some X amount, and then if I have to sell it in a different state, then I would sell it for a different price. So what do I do? Do I keep multiple products for each state? That would be a very very difficult task for the admin to manage, because in future if they decide to change the name of one particular product, or if they decide to change some feature in that product, they have to do it for each and every product for a particular state. So instead, what we do is the product information remains the same. It remains uniform throughout the project, and we differentiate the prices with different price books. So I can have a Florida price book, I can have a California price book, I can have a New Jersey price book. That way, I differentiate the different prices for the same product. Now, in a real world scenario, what is expected is when I'm on the code. So I'm giving an example of a recent project that I was working on. Okay. So in that, we had the same example that I gave you is related to the project, wherein for each state we had different price books, and make it easier for the sales rep. So when you go to the code, instead of them selecting the price book based on their state, what we did is we had uh, these users. Okay? So each and every sales rep was a separate user in the system, and we checked their state, for example, which state they belong to, and we had a process builder. So you guys have heard of process builder, right? We have a flow in Salesforce called as process builder.
Correct. Yeah.
So we had a process builder in place which was checking the user's state, and it was picking up the respective price book and it was assigning it to the quote. So
Right.
that way, what happens is I am a sales rep from California. I log in and I create a quote. And I don't have to do anything. I don't have to worry about what price has to be seen or nothing. I just go into the code and I do the edit lines, and automatically the back end, when I created the code, the California price book was assigned to my code and the prices was all relevant. So first thing, it actually saves effort from the sales rep, and secondly, it reduces the chances of errors in the code process.
Sure.
Okay.
Now,
This
quickly, uh,
right.
you need a standard price book first, right? And then you need the alternatives, like for the different states and what have you. Is that correct? Or
So standard price book is what the Salesforce already offers, but then you can have multiple price books.
So what you're saying, Sajal, is that with process flow, we can create multiple process based on the location,
Right?
right?
No, so process builder was just to assign the. Sorry, I'm getting echo. If you guys can please go on mute. Yeah, thanks. So process builder was just to assign the correct price book to the user's code based on the user state. That's it. But that was just an example on how you deal with
When you say users
requirement
means
as a
sales
sales,
rep.
right? The sales rep. So this was a whole community, and in the inside, I don't know if you guys are aware of the concept of community in Salesforce. So basically, in community, what happens is each and every user in community is a contact. It is stored in as a contact, and in that contact, you store all the information about the user, like what account it belongs to, what is the state of the account, and all these details. So when he creates a code on fly, we check the account to what account he belongs to and what is the state of that account, and we pick up the respective price book based on his state, and then we assign it to the code. So that is what was done in one of my recent projects. So I just thought of giving you an example, like how you have to come up with a solution to reduce the efforts sales rep and have it all automated as much as you can. You
Okay.
guys got the clear picture, right? Or you want me to explain it again? Because this is a very important thing, because you won't come to know when to use multiple price books until you understand this concept. They might so sometimes what happens is in their own older database, what they do is, since there was no CPQ, they might have created multiple products for multiple states. So when they come to you, when you are in a real world project, when they come to you with this set of products, you go through the products and then you have to suggest that, okay, let's not put in multiple products with the same description and same type just because they have different prices. In Salesforce, what we can do is we can have it as one uniform product for all states, which would be a common product, and let's handle the prices as a different price book, which is the correct approach of doing CPQ.
One question here. So we created product, right? And same for each state as an example. And after that, we created separate price books based on states, right? And now there are two things pending, like based on the user, we have to create a process flow on top of that so that whenever user as a sales rep, either from Florida or from California, picks up the product, that process flow will automatically gives him that correct price book.
Correct. That's what was implemented. Yes.
right? And so that process flow thing is part of the Salesforce CPQ, or it is part of that we have to go to setup and ask developer to set that up a
No,
process
so
flow.
that is the developer's job. So if you are a BA or if you're a consultant, what you would do is you would assign the part still creating the price books and the price book entries to a CPQ admin, and the second part, which is completely a Salesforce development task, which a Salesforce admin should be doing, is to create a process builder to get this automatically assigned.
Okay, so that's a developer job, right?
Right, a developer or an admin job.
Or an admin job. Okay.
So Salesforce admin, not a CPQ admin, Salesforce admin job or a Salesforce developer job, and create having those products in the system, getting those in as price books and price book entries are something that the CPQ guy should do.
So what you're here, those kind of scenarios, it comes as a requirement. We get the requirement on top of requirement. We can put some technical requirements to create like workflows and process flows to fulfill those requirements.
Exactly, yes. So
Okay,
the client won't come and tell you that, okay, so you go to the client, you tell them that, okay, let's keep multiple price books, for instance, okay. So the client won't know that, okay, Salesforce has a flow through which you can get this automatically assigned. But then you, as a Salesforce consultant, should know what are the features that Salesforce offers and how I can reduce the job of a sales rep. So every time, whenever you are in a project, apart from what the client says, you should have other angle on a requirement to see what are the extra things that a sales rep is doing and how I can reduce that. So there are two things. Two reason behind reducing the work is one, it saves time for the sales rep, and second, it reduces the chances of mistakes happening. So these are the two main factors because of which you have to try and maximize things being automated in the system rather than having it done manually.
okay, I got you. So
Yeah.
when you say process flow, what are the other different uses of that process flow? You gave us like setting up a process for the different price book to link to the product which are based on the different geography, right? What could be other uh, usage of that process flow?
So there are a lot of things that a process builder can do, but then that actually depends on what situation you are in and what is the requirement. But right now, I just gave you an example since we were discussing price books and price book entries. So that's why I thought of giving you that example. But then later on, when we move on to different topics, I can okay, there are things which you can handle. But then I don't want you
Sure,
guys to just think of process builder, but that was just an example. What my idea of giving you that example was, apart from things we handle in CPQ, you have to have an eye on the Salesforce side of it, on how you can reduce other things which CPQ does not handle.
sure, I got you. Thank you.
You guys are clear, right? Dhruvesh, Preet, Vishal.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I have connected to the computer, huh? Sachin now.